Leno, and I am here with the great glittery bohemian herself, Amber Watson. Amber and I are gonna be doing a live cooking demo for you. And this is something brand new to our group. It's something brand new to our challenge. And it's something that I've kind of, when I first started the program, I was doing a program before this for many, many years. It has two letters and they're both the same, WW. And so when I shifted to this, I had to really kind of figure out my new recipes and what was going to work with the condiments and the healthy fats and all of that on this program. And I had to adapt some things. And I'm going to be completely honest, I was a little nervous about it because I was a busy mom, and having already had these recipes in my repertoire, they were my go-to. They were instant. I knew what I was doing and I knew what I needed. And shifting to lean and greens was a change. It was a change. So I kept it very simple in the beginning, and I did a lot of just plain protein with plain vegetables and a little drizzle of olive oil here and there. And then as the weeks went on, I started getting more and more excited about all the different recipes and trying new things and really playing with that lean and green. And then I had new recipes in my repertoire, and those became the habit. And so, you know, I often make lean and greens that are still very basic, and then I add a starch for my kids if they need a starch at night. But most of all, I try and do one recipe that everybody in the house is going to like. So I kind of asked you to do this today because you're a fish person. You're a pescatarian.
I am.
And I try and eat fish 2 times a week. My kids are very limited in the types of fish that they're really kind of willing to try. I'm sure most people's kids are. We do a lot of shrimp. We do a lot of salmon. But today we're going to do a cod recipe. So tell me a little bit about it, and tell me kind of how you got to this point of making this recipe and using it as a lean and green.
That is such a great question. So thanks and hi. And so I am a pescatarian, and I have been since I was 9 years old. So adapting the lean and greens to the fishes was really easy for me. What I was really surprised about when I started doing the program was actually how much protein you get. So, I mean, like I can, even just today when I was measuring, you know, you throw some cod on and you're on the scale, and then you keep throwing more on and you're like, wow, 7 ounces, that's a really lot of fish. This is actually a dish I usually make with salmon, but because it's a drizzle of olive oil and in the lean and green, while you're doing the 5-in-1 plan, they recommend that there's no additional healthy fats when you eat salmon. I modified it. But you really, that's kind of the beauty of this dish, is that you can modify it to any of your flavors and requirements that you have. Like, I know you, I think today are working with asparagus, if I'm not mistaken. And
I am.
Right? And I'm actually working with fennel. So what I love about the dish is its ease of creation and its beauty. And so I came to this dish when I was looking for something really simple, you know, same as you. I'm a busy mom. I'm always running to baseball. I'm a single mom. And so I don't really have help. And, you know, are you shaking your head?
No, I'm shaking my head because I'm trying to share my screen. Go, I'm sorry.
Okay, I was like,
I want to pull up the recipe. So go.
Okay. So the recipe is very simple. You just need cod. You need yours. Jackie, what are you doing?
I'm trying to find my recipe. All right, I'm going to stop the share, but go ahead, keep going.
Okay, so
we didn't rehearse this, everybody. As you can see, we didn't want to rehearse. We want this to be like real live, like stuff.
Yeah, because it really, seriously, what I love about this dish is that it's so freaking easy. So, and it's beautiful. So you get parchment paper, you get cod in this case, you have asparagus for Jackie. I'm using fennel, and you need a lemon and a little olive oil and some spices. And that is all you need. And what I loved about the dish was that it was easy to make. It only took a half an hour. It looks beautiful. It comes out delicious every single time. And it stays very well because it's in these individual parchment packets. And so you can very easily move. Oh, capers. I forgot. You're doing the one with capers. I'm doing the fennel one. So not capers from my side, but you know, that's also the beauty of this dish too. When I make it with salmon, same thing. I've thrown in mushrooms, I've done zucchini, I've thrown in leeks. Like you can really put anything into the parchment paper and it steams into itself. So it's all of these flavors kind of steaming into themselves. Now mine doesn't look like that because I make a little, well, I'll show you. Should we open my oven?
Yeah, well, so we're going to get started, but I just wanted to show everybody this recipe is adapted from a website called The Roasted Root. And, you know, lean and green recipes can come from the company. We have an amazing lean and green channel on Pinterest, I guess, a page on Pinterest that Octavia has. And you're going to find all sorts of lean and green recipes if you just Google the word lean and green, Octavia. And usually they will tell you what it counts as. So they'll tell you like it's a whole grain, it's three greens, it's a full lean, it has 2 condiments, it has healthy fats. And so there's a lot of people brand new to the program starting this week. And you know, you always get 3 condiments and there's a condiment guide, right? So everything is in your booklet, which I looked for before this and I don't have one.
Which one?
My regular 30-day guide that comes.
You should have told me. I would have grabbed mine.
I know. So, but you know, there's condiments, there's healthy fats, and then there's a full list of that in the file section of this group. So it's the full list of condiments and healthy fats. And also the Giant Optavia guide is a great one to go to.
I love the Giant Optavia guide. That is my go-to resource. I keep it in the notes on my phone. And so I feel like even last night I was at the grocery store and I just pulled it up because I was like, oh, how much is that? How much could I have of that? Can I have that? Is it on the list? I'm on day 3, rebooting. So I've actually lost 3 pounds in 3 days and I'm very excited and looking forward to sharing this with the challengers. Okay, do you want to get started?
I do. And I want to just say there's a vegetable conversion chart. This is, you know, I'm using asparagus. And so I like to weigh it instead of shoving it in a cup because the serving for a grain is a half a cup, right? And so it's kind of difficult when you're not using like a leafy vegetable or a cooked vegetable to put it in a cup, especially something like asparagus. So for the purposes of this, I'm using this vegetable conversion guide. And so I'm going to weigh my asparagus versus putting it in a cup. And like Amber said, this is cod and this is in the guide too. And it's lean, leaner, leanest. And this is considered leanest. So we get 7 ounces each serving. And we also get 2 healthy fats. So I'm going to use a healthy fat in the dish of the fish. And I'm also going to use a healthy fat in the asparagus. And I'm making 2 servings because I'm not going to take a chance that the kids won't eat this tonight. So for tonight, this is for me and the hubby. Both of us are on plan right now, also doing a reboot and joining in on the challenge. And so I have some stuff kind of set. So you kind of talk me through it and we're going to do this live and see how it goes.
Okay. So I always start with, you know, cutting up the vegetables and measuring and weighing them out. So I would recommend that you start with the asparagus.
So I have my handy dandy digital scale. This one was $10 on Amazon. If you want the link, I'll put it below. It's lasted me 7 years. The best $10 I ever spent.
I have this one, and it's, you know, also I just changed the battery. I think for the first time in like 7 years. Also,
okay.
Mine.
And here's my asparagus. This is just one bundle of asparagus that came, and I'm actually going to grab a plate and I'm going to
chop off the ends there, trim it up a little.
I am, right? Because we chop off the ends of the asparagus because they're too chewy. They're too hard.
Yeah, they're too hard. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my vegetable conversion guide says that a serving of cooked asparagus is 3.17 ounces. So what I like to do is, and so really, I'm so not fancy with asparagus. I literally break off the end with my hand. I don't even use a knife.
I put a whole bunch together and chop it all at once.
Yeah, see, we adapt. So for every serving, I'm actually going to do an ounce more than what the serving size is, because generally speaking, you lose about an ounce in cooking, right? So I'm going to go with 4 ounces a serving of the asparagus, so that when it's all done, we end up with 3. So this is 4 ounces. That's one.
That's a nice portion. Like, that's a good portion.
This is a really great amount of greens on your plate, right? And so now I'm going to do the same for Mike's portion.
I love asparagus too. It's so tasty.
I like to eat it raw. Like, I really like to eat it raw.
I'm a big fan of the greens.
So I have 4 ounces of this. All right. And so how I'm going to prepare my asparagus is I'm literally just going to drizzle 2 teaspoons of oil on top of it. I'm going to roll it around and I'm going to add some kosher salt, and I roast it because this is going in the oven with the parchment paper fish. So I'm going to leave it actually on the same baking sheet as where I put my fish. And while I'm doing this, I'm also going to preheat my oven to 350 because that's what it belongs on.
Yes, I have mine on 360 because my oven is a little off temperature. And I actually just had my timer go off. So my fish is ready, but I'm going to wait to take it out. It could stay in there for a couple more minutes, and then we'll do the big reveal when it's time.
And so that's what we kind of did. Like, I'm going to prepare it while we're live, and Amber prepared it already so that as soon as mine goes in the oven, hers can come out. Okay, so I'm drizzling right now, and I'm using avocado oil because the recipe called for avocado oil with the fish, and avocado oil is a healthy oil. And so I have 1 oil out. I'm all about convenience, you guys. If it takes too long or it's too many steps, I don't know about you, but I'm doing it. So
yeah, this time I use the light
oil. And you know, I just put a teaspoon on here, and actually I don't think I need 2 teaspoons.
No, it really does. Yeah, hold it up.
I'm just going to roll it around because
you could save that too for your salad dressing if you want, because you really still need more greens with this for your lean and green. And so I'll have a salad with mine, and then I only drizzled. I didn't drizzle over. I just drizzled a little bit over the whole fish and the what's the vegetable I use? It's anise. It's a thank you. The name was escaping me. But
in Italian, it's fenouil.
Really?
Fenouil.
Huh. Anyway, so I drizzled it just over the fish so that I save some extra healthy fats for my dressing, because that's how I like to use it.
And so I just want to let you know what I did for our servings. That was just 1 serving of green. And so what Amber said is correct. We still need 2 other servings of greens. I'm actually going to make the rest of my asparagus on this dish because we probably will have a little bit more. Maybe there's not enough for 2 servings each of asparagus, but there's definitely enough for 1.5 servings, right? And then we will make up the rest with a salad. So we're getting a nice roasted vegetable to go with it, and we're going to get a nice side salad. And yes, we still have condiments. We still have a healthy fat. Maybe we use that as our salad dressing. Okay.
So I just want to say, you're roasting the asparagus on the side. I roast my vegetables in the parchment paper with the fish. So if I were doing it, I would probably take the parchment paper, put the asparagus down as a layer, and put the fish on top of it, which is what I've done with the fennel.
Maybe I'll do that.
So crazy, I know.
Can I make 1 big parchment paper, or each piece of fish has to have its own individual veggies? What? All right.
So here's why I like the individual ones. I like the individual ones, first of all, because they just go plate to plate and they're so pretty. And when you open it, and the smell and how it looks when you serve it, it's just beautiful. And when I take mine out of the oven, you'll see that like the individual servings are so spectacular. But what I also like about them is I'll make 3, 4, 5 at a time. And because they're already in their own parchment paper, you take them out of the oven, you put them in a Tupperware, you put them in the fridge, and now you have your serving for tomorrow or later or whatever, or someone else.
Yeah, I love that.
I recommend the one but
Okay.
I'm sure you could do two.
I'm gonna do two, one each individual, so that exactly what you said, we each have our own little pouch to open. And so I think I have to lay out the parchment paper now before I do the fish, right?
Okay. So the parchment paper is always funny for me because I never know how much, like I've like, big sheets or little sheets. So what you want to do, parchment paper, what you want to do is you want to, and I'm sure chefs all around the world are going, but what you want to do is pull it out with enough, you want to have enough of a sheet so that if you fold it, you want to be able to fold it fully over the fish and then kind of round the edges around it. Okay. And I'm going to show you mine in a minute. But so you don't need too much, but if you have more than enough, that's okay. Let me see what that size is. No,
I think this is too small because my asparagus is big.
I don't think that's big enough. I was just going to say that. Yeah. Perfect. Go do it.
And second one yet.
This is not even an exact science. This is like I am not an exact science cooker. I'm not a baker because that like is exact science. I'm like one of those, oh, this should go here. That should go there. This mixes with that. So that's the kind of cooking I like to do. So if your parchment sheet is too big, don't worry about it. But if it's too small, that's a problem.
Okay, I'm ready. So we have fish. I got a pound. And the reason I got a pound was because the serving of cod is 7 ounces and a pound is 16 ounces. And so that's 8 ounces each with probably an ounce to burn off in cooking.
Right. So now what you want to do is, I think yours is sectioned into 2 sections, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so mine wasn't. I had to cut and measure. I got a side of cod. So I got a big fish and then I had to cut it into pieces and measure. So then what you want to do is literally place the asparagus onto the parchment paper. Can you lower your camera a little bit so people can see what you're doing? Yeah, perfect. And then I'd put the fish on top of the asparagus, long ways. Is it on the parchment paper, Jackie?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you want to do is put it towards you don't want it in the middle. You want it like a third of the way to one side. There you go. Yep. Maybe a little bit less. You want a little bit more paper on the end. Okay. Now get a lemon. Yep, exactly. Get a lemon.
For the purposes of time, I already sliced my lemon.
Oh, okay, good. So now what you want to do is put the lemon just in even slices. I would take 2 or 3, however many it takes to put on top. And then you sprinkle the dill. So I would chop up the dill. Now, when I make this recipe with the salmon, I just put the fennel on the bottom. I put the salmon, then the lemons, then I chop up the fennel leaves and put them on top of you literally just sprinkle a bunch on top of the, oh, that's pretty. I usually chop it, but that's a beautiful, sprigging it is a great way to do it also.
And I have to take the stems off of this, I imagine.
Right. So then I do that and then I usually chop it, but that's, that's just one way. That's the beauty of this. It's like, whatever.
Smells so good.
I know. I love dill. Oh, I love dill. Right.
I'm actually going to chop it a little bit.
Yeah. So you chop it up and then literally just sprinkle it on top. Yep. You don't even need that much. I'm going to take mine out of the oven because I don't want it to overcook.
Okay.
But I could leave it on the side so we don't have to reveal it yet.
So I'm just looking at the recipe.
Then I drizzle the oil on top.
4 sprigs of fresh dill, this says. So that was probably 4 sprigs.
Yeah, again, I don't go by the recipe. I mean, I go by the general recipe, but I'm like this is how I like it kind of person.
And now you drizzle the oil on. Well, so do I do the spices now?
Oh.
And
Right.
this off.
Exactly that.
See? We adapt.
Adapt and overcome.
So this also calls for capers, and I did not have paprika, and it called for some paprika. So I actually am substituting garlic and pepper seasoning and garlic powder only with some salt, with some sea salt, and then the dill and the capers.
Okay.
I eliminated the paprika and I went with a garlic pepper blend.
Sounds delicious. Again.
So, again, it's 1 teaspoon. It's all, teaspoons, and we all know how we want our food seasoned, right? Like we all know how to season our food.
So like with mine, I put a drizzle of olive oil, salt, pepper, and paprika. That's it. And then what I also do, because there's a little lemon left, I usually zest my lemon and just put a little lemon zest on top because I like, I like that flavor. I love the flavor of lemon.
I'm going to add, I didn't add a lot of seasoning to the asparagus. So I love that this is going to cook with the asparagus.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's what makes it so great. Also, it's like the cleanup is almost none.
So this is 1 tablespoon of capers, and I am actually not sure what capers count as. I have a feeling they could be a healthy fat, and I have a feeling, just knowing the nutrition of them, that it's probably 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to put 1 tablespoon on. And again, if we have to adapt this later and not use that extra fat in the salad that we were talking about, that's okay. So each serving gets 1 tablespoon of capers. I'm going to go ahead and put my lemon and my dill back on.
Yeah.
Now we're going to roll it up. Oh, and I'm going to drizzle a little bit of oil on it. So
yeah, a little bit. And that's what I do. I just drizzle. Exactly. A little bit all over. Perfect. You're good.
Probably about a teaspoon. Another thing you can do versus drizzling is I use coconut oil because I use a spray coconut. Oh, there's my dog leashes. I use a spray coconut oil because you can see it. It comes out white because coconut oil, when it stands is
and I love that. The flavor. So good.
And then you can really see how much a quick spray is. So, okay. So let's get back to rolling this up. And then
so now what you want to do is fold it over the fish and you start with one end. As if you're, toward the back where the folded part is. Yep. Start there. Now fold that in for a bigger fold. Yep. Now fold it, just keep folding it around the fish. Yep. Exactly.
Never done this before, and this is totally very cool to do.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I mean, every time I have a dinner party, and then everybody gets their own one, and it looks so pretty, and when you open it, the smell of all the flavors, the fish, the lemon, the everything. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just kind of roll it into itself.
And this won't come open, but like just really push it down and it's going to stick.
Yep. And then it goes onto the tray and into the oven. It is that simple.
Okay, so I'm actually, this one's done. I'm going to put it on my baking sheet, and then I'm actually going to roll up the next one while we chat. And I think I got it down. So you don't.
So mine are out. Should I show everybody what they look like completed?
Not yet. Let me get mine. Okay. All right. I want to talk to you about you cooking. I want to ask you, did you always cook like this? Did you make time for cooking? Because I think healthy cooking is a big deal for some people. What I hear most from a lot of clients is they don't have time, right? And that's why the 5-in-1 or the 4-in-2 is so convenient for people, because it cuts down this.
Mm-hmm.
It really just makes it effortless to eat the right foods at the right times, and you're responsible for one meal. So tell me about how was your cooking habits before you did 5-in-1, and also tell them a little bit about how much weight you've lost.
Oh, so I've lost 60 pounds total. I went from a size 16 to an 8. And that was about a year ago. So I've kept it off, although in COVID, I might have gained a little bit back. So that is why I'm rebooting with the challenge. There was a little unhealthy.
What's the What would have happened if you weren't part of this before COVID?
Oh gosh.
When you gained a little bit of weight back, what would have happened? What's the difference?
Yeah. Well, I would have gained a lot of weight back, first of all. Second of all, I wouldn't have had the tools or the resources to get back on track like I did. And the community, I think, and you, I mean, you're my coach. So, you know, there was a lot of times I called you and I was like, oh, there was a lot of vodka and Cheetos during COVID. I mean, but that's real.
For a lot of people.
So I have to say, when it came to, so you asked me a couple of questions. So the cooking, let's start with that. So I did not usually cook for myself. I've been a pescatarian since I was 9. So, you know, I've been like, you know, it's easy to eat a lot of that vegetarian stuff that, you know, is just in the freezer and you kind of throw it in with a bun, you know, a burger with a bun kind of thing. And so what I would find is that I would cook for everybody else in the household. And then because I ate things that nobody else did, I would have to cook for myself. And that was just annoying. And I was tired and I was done and I had no energy. And so I, you know, I didn't serve myself. I didn't show up for myself. Ooh, by the way, showing up for yourself. That is my, that is my topic for the Healthy Hangout on Sunday, the 31st. The importance.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. The importance of showing up for yourself. Because there was many years I didn't show up for myself, like decades almost. And so I think what happened with that was you kind of get used to not showing up for yourself and you get used to disappointing yourself. And that is very unhealthy and led me down a very bad path of health. I was pre-diabetic on metformin. I was on omeprazole for GERD. I was on sleep medication. I was on anxiety medication. And since this diet program and my weight loss, I lost 60 pounds and I've gone off all my medication. I've completely reversed my diabetes and I'm now living a very healthy, zestful life. So that is incredibly exciting for me. And now actually with this reboot, I have a new weight loss goal. So I am very excited because I have a size in mind that I'd like to be. And so that's
a great goal. And that's what I love about this program too. So I'm just taking pictures of this so that I can post it under the video. Because this is really pretty. Like it's so pretty. But that's what I love too, is a lot of clients that I work with are just like you. They come in with one goal in mind because they don't really know if they can go where they really want to go. And I like to say, if you couldn't fail, what would it be? And people are so caught up in, but I'm probably going to fail because they failed so many times before. And so I love that you can evolve with this, right? Like now you have a new goal. Like, yeah, okay, I accomplished what I wanted to. COVID happened. I had a little bit of a step back. I had the tools. I jumped right back in and here I am. And now not only am I going to go back to where I was, but I'm going to go further than that because now you believe, right? We believe until you believe.
No doubt. I totally believe. Not only do I believe, I know, like innately, I know what's possible with this program. I started cooking for myself and I wanted to find recipes that were easy and that were pretty and that were, you know, I really need ease. It's, you know, I am not one of those people that needs 17 layers. You know, you put it in on the stove and then you put it in the, you know, you put it on the stove top and then in the oven and then it's this. I can't be bothered. I need very easy. So this, to me, when I found this recipe, it was like, oh, I could just get the fish cut to the size I need, get a few of them. And because it saved so well in the fridge, I would make a few. And even if they were only for me, it didn't matter because they saved so well in the Tupperware. And then the next day when you are reheating, you could just reheat it in the microwave.
This is awesome. So I made both and we've been on for less than 30 minutes. They're both going to go in the oven for, what does it say?
30 to 40.
Yeah, 30 to 40 minutes. So I'll put it in for 30 and I'll check it. I'll probably put it in for 30 and I'll leave it because then if I have to reheat it later for dinner time, I like to have a little bit of room so it doesn't dry out.
Right. Although you'll find because it cooks in the juices, it really doesn't dry out.
And this is something I never would have done. It's something I never would have done. So I'm ecstatic to try it. Again, I'll probably use salmon for my kids because I know they'll eat that, but I could see myself doing shrimp like this. I could see myself doing halibut like this. I can see myself doing a lot of different things like this. And this was not difficult. So I'm very excited. I'm throwing mine in the oven. You want to grab yours out of the oven?
Mine's out of the oven.
I can't wait.
Ta-da.
Timer for 30.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey, I hope you're watching. This is dinner, baby.
Right. And another thing, I just want to say one other thing. I did not know I liked fennel. I'm not a licorice person. I was like, I'm not an anise person, the after dinner drink. It's not my thing. But when you bake fennel in this way, it becomes like the most tender, delicious, like the flavor is just so good. And the flavor of the lemon and the fennel in the fish. Oh, it's so delicious. All right. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
For the big reveal?
Big reveal. Okay. Let's see.
So this is what it looks like when it comes out of the oven.
Okay.
Okay. So it gets brown on top. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a plate and open one so you can see.
Okay. So exciting. So I love fennel, and I always loved fennel as a kid. We would eat it as an after dinner thing. It would be like, it helps you digest fennel. And so we would eat it. We would eat the bulb. We would slice it up and we would eat pieces of the bulb raw. And then I actually found a really amazing fennel salad with lemon. And I make that a lot now on the 5-in-1. And I'm actually going to try and find that recipe to post here with everybody else so that you guys can have that, because a thin sliced fennel salad it's got a crunch and it's got a texture. And if you've never had it before, it may be one of those vegetables that you want to try, right? The best part about the 5-in-1 is that you get to try all these kinds of vegetables that you may not have gone to in the past.
Okay, so this is what it looks like on the plate. And I'm going to get a fork and I'm going to get a knife. And I'm going to show you that what I usually do is I just give it a little cut. And then I open the packet.
Wow.
And look how beautiful it looks.
It really is.
And when you serve people that, it's like, it looks like you so know what you're doing.
Yeah. And literally, I didn't have any of the spices that they called for, so I just winged it with my own. But
so I'm going to taste this because I want to see how it is with the cod and everything.
I just love all those juices. Like, that's like lemon juice.
Oh my God.
You got that. You got to do the Rachel Ray. So every time Rachel Ray eats something, she goes,
And now I'm going to taste the fennel. And this is what I just love. The fennel, it like melts. It's so good.
I so wish I had some fennel, but next time.
Oh my God. It's so good.
So good and perfectly cooked.
Perfectly cooked.
And so I don't want to keep everybody long. You know, we're 30 minutes here. And I think that's really what we wanted to accomplish, is to show people that they can make an easy, healthy, yummy, lean and green in under 30 minutes. And Amber's going to have her lean and green for lunch right now versus dinner. And mine is in the oven, but it'll be ready for dinner a little bit later. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I thank you so much, Amber, for sharing that with me and with everybody. And I cannot wait for your healthy hangout on Sunday. Really about self-care.
Aren't you this Sunday?
Oh, yes, I'm this Sunday. You're right. You are the 31st. So
mine is still the 31st.
This Sunday, we're going to be talking about success stories. We're going to be doing stuff like something like this, where we're talking about success stories. And we're going to ask a few people that have had really amazing success on this plan to share their top tips. So it's going to be a really good one. So invite friends, because people can come to the Healthy Hangout even if they are not on program. It is just geared towards healthy living and what are the successful tips that keep people living healthy. And then Amber's is the 31st, and it's going to be on self-care and why it's very important to put you first. Yeah, to show up for yourself. All right. So thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. And we will see you next Wednesday with a brand new guest and a brand new lean and green, or just a green, or just a lean. I don't know. We'll see. And that's it. So enjoy your week. And thank you, Amber, for coming.
Thanks, Jackie. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye.